Hi, welcome everyone. Another live stream, another session this week. Great to hear that none of you had any questions before the call. So this means that we've been very productive in answering all of your questions. So that is great to hear. Today we are doing another interview session with some of our Supliful team members, and I'm excited to have today with me Toms. Toms is our VP of Engineering, and we will definitely talk about how he started to join Supliful, what kind of technology stack he's using, as well as what he sees the main challenges with creating and building Supliful. So without further ado, let's have Toms join our live. Toms, hi. How are you?
Hi, hi. I'm good, thanks. How are you?
Great to have you on this live stream. We have a bunch of people watching the stream. So the plan for today is to go through a bunch of questions that I helped to prepare for you. And if there are any questions in the chat, feel free to add them, and we'll be happy to answer on those. Best that it's something related to our tech and our system. But let's jump into the questions, right?
Definitely.
All right, let's do that. Let's do that. So, Toms, can you maybe share a bit with the rest of the people watching the stream, kind of a bit about your background as well as how you decided to join Supliful? I know I think it's close. It's going to be close to a year soon. Seems like a much longer since many things have been happening. But yeah, maybe share a bit your story.
Okay, so my background, I'm a self-taught engineer. Started back when I was 6 years old, dabbling with the basics of coding, like probably a bunch of people have done with HTML and styling with CSS. But then gradually, I kind of started to venture more into all of it until my father said that, son, you're not programming. That's not programming. You need to learn actual programming language. And so he gave me the reins to start working with PHP and doing some web hosting solutions, and uh, and from there on it kind of started to escalate super fast, and it escalated that fast that I actually started professionally doing something when I was just 12 years old. And soon after, I realized that I didn't really have much interest in going to the school, and just continue working with software and just doing a bunch of projects left and right until actually getting hired when I think I was 15 or 16 years old, and from there on just been on that professional career path, and also been escalating way faster than expected, from just being a programmer to then being like a senior programmer, and then being a team lead, and then a tech lead, and then now even higher with just managing the team of engineers that we have here at Supliful. And then yeah, how that all happened. That was a that was a funny story, because yeah, I was transitioning from one work, a startup that actually failed in a sense, and I was working on my own startup, which is no, actually that wasn't a startup, just a project. It was startup some time ago, and that also failed. But I'm working on a video game as a hobby, and doing programming and art and all kinds of stuff there as well. And so I
How
was
is
in
it
this.
going with the video game, by the way, Toms? How is it going? Is it finished or
Uh,
not yet?
Mm, Not really. Yesterday I pushed a minor update because Google Play is super strict about privacy policies and all kinds of things. And well,
Okay.
actually, my game is rated PG-3, which means that it could be playable from 3 years of age. It has no violence, nothing at all. But
All right.
usually people 20 plus enjoy it way more than the three age olds. But
We should add the link to the game in the chat.
yep, can do it.
Can we find it?
Yeah, definitely. Let me
All
quickly
right.
let me quickly give you the link.
Okay. While you're finding the link, Dalaya, you're winning because of us. That's great to hear. All right. The King's letter. Good to see you too, all guys. Great that you are joining. Okay, I have a link here. Let me try to now add it in all the chats. Okay, I'm adding it here and also here. All right. So, guys, if you want to check out Tuom's own video game that he built, feel free to do it. All right, cool, cool, cool. So, build games.
I just finished.
And how you found Supliful. I think that is a bit of a fun story to share with the rest of the people watching the stream.
Yeah. So yeah, getting back from a failed startup into kind of I had a three month window to do something freely. I was completely kind of um, funded by the previous company which failed, so I had essentially 3 months of complete leeway to do whatever I want. And I figured, okay, I will do one more push with the game, hopefully to kind of reach something with it, and we'll see how it goes. But I'm quite a spiritual person behind the scenes. I pick up all kinds of signs, and I see much of relevance in all kinds of signs as well. Um, and so while I was working on it, I was also kind of doing some of my own personal transformation, like career transformation, figuring some things out, because I realized I no longer want to be software developer. Like actually working on code, I've been doing it for more than 20 years now. It's just exhausting for me. I figured that I actually like working more with people. And so while I was in my mental trying to figure all of that out and working on the game, um, there was this moment when my wife was just saying, "Hey, but actually, it's not really 3 months of leeway; it's just 2 months of leeway, because you have to start working at some point so that we can actually get some money back in our, our bank accounts." And that means that I had to find work um, at the end of August, instead how I was envisioning that I actually can just start doing something later. And so once I realized that, I started to look up the vacancies, and when I realized, wait a second, nobody really does engineering management over here in Latvia. There's just nobody. And I found one piece, but yeah, that was they were looking for a senior with huge experience in the field and whatever, and I had none because I'm homegrown all the time, right? And but then I noticed a software developer ad from Supliful, and I looked it up, and I saw the size of the team in the image, and I kind of thought to myself, wait, but you guys seem like the exact size when you would actually benefit from an engineering manager. But at the same time, I looked at it and I realized, well, but yeah, that's not up to my alley. I won't be proposing this thing because you're definitely not looking for it. But yeah, there's a cool coincidence that the CTO of Supliful is actually one of my classmates back in college, essentially. Um, but then, well, yeah, I was doing school, but I was not going to it.
Okay,
um,
yeah, good addition.
but then I started to think that actually probably need to reach out and post on LinkedIn that I'm actually looking for an engineering manager or principal engineering gig, and kind of outline all the experience and whatever that I have, why I would be eligible for this role. And so I made this post, and then after making the post, I started to see that Rudolph's, our CTO, is starting to look at it and is actually also looking at my profile and whatever. And I started to think, wait a second, what does this all mean? That I just noticed that you guys look like you need an engineering manager, and here the guy is kind of spying on me in a sense. And then just a couple of days later, he messaged me, hey, it seems like we don't really need a developer, but actually we need someone like you. and and yeah, fast forward, I think it just was 3 or 4 days, and I started working here.
All right. Yeah, I
It was
remember the process.
a bit chaos.
I think it was like we met one day, and the next week it was like, yeah, let's start working. So great timing, great timing. Um,
Yep.
so basically, also you like to live on the edge, right? Because you were like really your family budget could run out, but you still stayed kind of true to your first objective of trying to build a game.
Yep. I do like
Okay.
living a bit on the edge. Yeah.
Okay, I see that balance bean. You made an order a month ago. You never received the samples, and you or a refund. It'd be great if you again reach out to customer support team. Make sure you check your spam as well, because could be that something lands in your spam inbox. Usually, our team is super responsive and try to get back as soon as possible. And if you really haven't received your samples, then we will just issue a full refund for you. But okay, Toms, let's talk a bit about technology. Um, okay, so sorry, the message from the customer just a bit throw me off the guard. But all right, the technology stack. So what is the technology that we're using at Supliful at the moment, and how can we ensure that it remains scalable and robust as we grow?
Yeah, so we're using, I think, the paddle standard in most startups lately, which is a React-based front end with a Node.js-based backend, all with TypeScript. Actually, it's not just the React-based front end. We're using Next.js as our front end for all kinds of things, um, and also relying a lot on more of the somewhat advanced scenarios that Next.js provides with static site generation and also incremental static regeneration, which are kind of techno babble. But yeah, those essentially make our dashboards and everything perform much better than the standard React applications would do. Um, and yeah, essentially that's it, right? Then in the backend, of course, we have a whole lot of stuff that powers the databases, but nothing too grand or too extreme in that sense. Just basic Postgres database and some Redis for caching and queuing, and that's about it. How do we ensure that all of this is scalable? Well, it just is. It has been like it's the Swiss Army knife of application development these days, and nothing seems to be changing too much. There are some prospects here and there, but for us, we're kind of a bit locked in at the moment to change somewhere. I know that eventually we will have to transition to a more enterprise platform, but currently, while we are exploring a whole lot of opportunities and chasing new ideas, this gives us the most profound and like most solid way to do those things rapidly, essentially. So we can prototype a whole lot faster than with some well outlined enterprise programming languages like C# or Java. We are able to move way faster. But eventually, yeah, as we grow, as we expand, we will have to switch to some of those anyways, because it we won't be able to scale our existing solution indefinitely. Yeah. But yeah, I think that's all of it in a nutshell.
All right. When we have a question from Andrei, so Andrei, Andrei Frollo, if I think he's still within our engineering team, no?
Yeah, he's our freelance quality assurance engineer working on our testing pipeline and things like that.
Nice. So he has a question. How old were you when you started with HTML? Because he started with Pascal.
Damn, I was 6.
Okay. When I was 6, I was like pig in the woods and probably running around somewhere. Like you were programming. Like the difference between you and me is okay. Unbelievable. No, just kidding, of course. Just kidding. When it comes to like we're an innovative company, we try to enable this innovative business model and eventually let people to build their own custom products on top of Supliful. How do you within your team foster this spirit of innovation to make sure that we achieve the vision?
No, that's a question. um, well, one thing is definitely like everything is flipped in a sense. Mm, the leadership happens from the guys who are furthest down in the field. So the engineer who is building the functionality is the leader in a sense for that functionality and is through that is the owner, and everybody from that perspective is then encouraged to actually come up with ideas, come up with solutions. Everybody is empowered to come up with these ideas. Everybody is heard, everybody is evaluated, every idea is evaluated. We have multiple processes internally, such as RFCs, like request for comments, where people can propose architectural changes. um, and and yeah, there is no central piece who owns the product in terms of development. It's like a shared responsibility to care about all the facets of the application code. Um, and yeah, essentially that there is a whole lot of freedom to everybody, and at the same time we have probably one of the most profound, I would say, one of the most profound project management solutions. We have completely custom built project management solution on top of Notion. We have fully automated priorities. We have fully automated like steps. How do you proceed with fulfilling your task? So everybody is empowered to do whatever they want, but they have all kinds of awesome guardrails to never fail. Everybody's always supported through that, and so the whole team works fully autonomously, and that gives us a whole lot of freedom to then think and see how to optimize a whole lot of things, because you are not kind of fighting with the solutions to kind of keep the project management in shape. Those things are handled mostly automatically. You just check some things, and that's all there is, and that kind of gives everybody the freedom to then think, figure out some new ideas, figure out some solutions, and essentially take ownership. But yeah, it goes both ways. One thing is that they're also encouraged to take ownership and come up with new ideas, new solutions, new whatever. And then the fun thing is that they actually do it.
Yeah, the Notion is great. Would you agree that we are abusing it?
Definitely. Notion for us is like, yeah, it's being abused heavily. We are actually reaching limits of Notion in multiple areas with all the custom formulas and whatever. They have an undisclosed limit to how deep you can go with references and all those things. Um, and uh, and Yeah, we have our OKR framework is a bit impacted because of the whole. So what we have built is that we can trace all of the projects and tasks from the lowest level up to the highest level, which is our OKR framework, objective key results. And everything is kind of aggregated at this top level through all kinds of different team spaces, different projects, different tasks, different whatever, to just
It's
give you,
inception. It's
yeah, just
inception.
progress bar, how far everything has moved across all the teams and everybody who's participating in that. And that gives us a bit of a headache because there is one particular team space. They are using a whole lot of subtasks with multiple levels of nesting and whatever. And we cannot get the actual number of the completion at the highest level because Notion just says, meh, too deep. I won't be trying to compute this. But yeah,
I got one funny question from Thomas on YouTube. I'm not sure if it's our Thomas or someone else. No, it's not him. So, what is the best way to motivate a very lazy developer, yet he's super talented?
sounds like me. Um, um, I think, well, it will be always different from case to case because the way how I lead teams is that I really look into all the personal details with every single developer. I try to figure out what are the what are the sweet spots of their motivation, how they need to be encouraged, how they need to be held accountable, and all kinds of things. There's completely different approach to every single person. It's essentially how I perceive it and how I also approach it. And but usually, usually these lazy but very talented developers like playing with things rather than developing things. So whenever they get to play with technology, they're motivated. Whenever they have to build a robust solution with 3-year-old technology stack, they're like, nah, not for me. So essentially, that's where you kind of start to see where people are starting to drop off. That's where you kind of start to put them on some more feature development where they get to express their innate talent to find new things, new solutions, to kind of exercise their skill for novelty, for looking at like new areas and whatever. And then essentially you just give them the freedom to, okay, because essentially that's also the nature of our startup, right? Because, and that ties back to the whole ownership and all of those things, because there is no strict lead within how the software should be architected. And the way it is like that is because we are moving way too fast. Making like strict decisions, they could be beneficial in some areas, but at the same time they could be detrimental for moving fast in other areas. So we are just changing things, not like every day, but we're changing things quite often. And that gives us also the opportunity to give those more talented but like demanding developers for new stuff, for new features, new frameworks, new libraries, to essentially just, hey, there's a new thing we have to build, completely new avenue, find the best thing to do it, and potentially actually find new ways how to do it. So maybe we get to learn how to then apply it afterwards across some other solutions. So it's essentially about empowering everybody's like innate motivation, how they want to approach development. Because, and yeah, then at the same time realizing that you will never be able to build the perfect software, because there's always going to be nonsense, because the way how you approach the development, it's so abstract. Programming is super abstract. You are always fighting with yourself. You're always fighting with computer at the same time, and just messy in a sense. And so that's like the first fundamental principle. You will never get it right. And if you can never get it right, then don't even try to get it right, and just build the thing that needs to be built. Focus on the solution, on the value that you can provide, instead of the technology, instead of religiously sticking to some technology. Just venture, find out, see what works, see what sticks, and just do it across different projects from time to time in the same code base, essentially. And it's a bit hard to sometimes kind of tame all of it, but at the same time it keeps everybody motivated. They enjoy these things, and so everybody gets to also participate in actually making an architectural decision as well.
Thanks for sharing that. I think it would give Thomas a good reason to stay motivated and find his right talents. But we have a question also on Instagram here. Uh, Probably rather simple question, but Tom, can you explain in more details how to do this integration through Shopify?
In details, um, there are two ways how you can approach it. One is that you start your shop on Shopify, and then from your shop's admin, look for apps and search for Supliful. And as you find Supliful, you will have the option to click the install button. And as you click it, we will essentially, not we, but through Shopify and through Supliful, there's going to be essentially an onboarding experience that is going to walk you through in setting all of this up. And then the other way is that you can actually initiate the process from your Supliful account by logging in, selecting your stores, and in stores you will be able to add new Shopify store. And clicking that will kind of then ask you to log in with Shopify. Then you will log in with your Shopify account, select your store, and that way, again, that whole installation process is going to be started.
Nice, very thorough explanation, I think. I think we could probably talk with you, Toms, for hours, but we just have 30 minutes in this live stream. But I always like to end with some, rapid fire questions, and you just answer the first thing that comes to your mind. So, what is your favorite programming language?
C#.
All right. What is the favorite piece of technology or gadget?
Unity game engine.
Okay. Coding or debugging?
Debugging.
Startup or an established company?
Hybrid.
Okay. Work from home or office?
Office.
How would you describe yourself in one word?
Crazy.
Okay, that's a good one. The last one. What is the single one thing that you can't live without?
My connection to spirituality.
All right, that's great. Uh, they don't respond in live sessions. I'll check a couple of questions here. Amit or Yusuf. I will check who's Yusuf. So we don't integrate with Big Cartel. Just so you know. We'll try to find that question. So it's not true that we don't respond to live sessions, to the questions that you submit. It's not correct. I actually go through all the questions that are listed here. So it's fake news that is being propagated here in chat. It's not true. Toms, do you do meeting? Toms, do you do meeting with new clients? So Toms is not meeting with clients. Toms is our VP of engineering, and his main job is to make sure that all the functionalities on Supliful operate. So all right, thanks everyone for joining this live stream. If you want to add more questions, feel free to join next week, the same time, the same format. We'll be answering any type of questions. Any last words, Toms?
Have a good one.
All right. Thanks everyone for joining in, and peace out till the next time. Bye.
Yeah.